Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video is composed of things that I tinkered with throughout the day. For step-by-step detailed instructions of those tasks, you can click on the links in the comment section below. This video should contain tips and tricks of things that I've learned throughout the year. Now, I only plan on leaving this video posted for about 30 days. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching. Going down the road. Not sure why people don't understand that their brake lights are out. They're one brake light away from getting rear-ended. Both of their tail light brake lights don't work. They only got their high mount light. Good morning, party people. And guess where I am? Down here to get a part for somebody with a 240. The wire harness is rotting away at their power door locks. So I need to find a car with power door locks, take the wire harness off the driver's side so that they can get that car fixed. For those of you that may or may not know, my mom's been battling with lung cancer, and we think the medication side effects are really getting to her. She's, we think, medically, chemically depressed from the medication, not doing well at home. My sister from Charlotte and Rock Hill, South Carolina, went and actually picked her up, took her to Charlotte. I recommended they do that because I think for people that are suffering some kind of depression, they do a lot better when they're close to loved ones, people expressing their care and love for them. So she has more people in that area that can share that with her on a daily basis. Her grandchildren are there, her favorites are there, so they picked her up, taking her there so that she can hopefully get back on her feet. My sister from Charlotte rode up there with my sister from Rock Hill, and she contacted me and asked me if I thought that V70 would make it to Charlotte. Of course, you know, I have a lot of confidence in Volvo. I told her no problem at all. So she topped off the coolant, checked the oil, drove it to Charlotte, no problem. That she hate to admit it, because I've been trying to put her in one of these cars for a few years, but she sounded like she kind of enjoyed the drive in that thing. That car rides very well, so we'll see how that pans out. My sister has been addicted to new cars for some time. New car, new car, new car. Personally, I think low-income people have no business buying a new car. They need to get a decent used car and be nice enough to somebody to help them keep that thing on the road. But paying $300, $400, $500 a month for car payments is something a poor person has no business doing. That's just my opinion. So you see how I roll. See a 240 up here. Let's see if it's got power doors. This is an 83 model with power windows. I don't know if that means it has power doors. At any rate, let me go ahead and take this door panel off and see. First thing you want to do is pop out that plug there, pop out that plug there, twist that off there, twist that off there, take that screw out there, and see if this thing has a power lock behind it. Can't really tell unless, of course, there's power on the vehicle. That trim piece had 3 clips along the bottom, there, there, there. Then it had 2 Phillips one there, then it latched in there. The handle has 3 screws, one there, one in there, one in there. I'm not sure how this top piece latches on. Let me see. Has this piece in the top. Not sure if that just pulls out or if you got to rotate it to that position, then pull it out. Now you got 4 little screws in this grill. Not sure if they got to come out. I think they got to come out to get the door panel off. Then you got this trim around this handle. I believe you got to pop that off. Then this door panel should pop loose and lift off of there. And it doesn't look like the speaker screwed to it. So let me lift it off, see if I got some wires behind this door panel on the latch. You do have to screw the door lock pin off before you can lift the panel off. Then you unplug the electrical stuff. And this does appear to have the wire harness that I'm after. So I'm going to reach in there, try to unsnap that wire harness and undo it from this door. But I'm going to have to pop this plastic trim off. It's on a couple of push clips. Wire harness also in bad shape. Some of them bad wires Volvo was using in the 80s. So let's go find a newer vehicle. Look what we got here. A fresh 740. Looks like GLE drop. I had one exactly like this. Had these headlights on it. Had these corner lights on it. This looks like a new corner light for this car. I put over 400,000 effort-free miles on this vehicle. Man, that thing rolled well. Cost me about $176 a year. Only cost I excluded was gas, oil, tires, transmission rebuild, everything included. Very nice rolling car. Here's an 85 240 here with a standard transmission. You know, Volvos up until had really good transmissions. So there's not that big of a reason to want a standard, unless of course you blow your automatic or you want better gas mileage. You can normally get better gas mileage than the auto could get itself. An example, right now I'm getting about 27 miles to the gallon around town. With my automatic, I was getting around 22 to 24 before my mass airflow sensor started deteriorating. So it's a good idea to have a standard, less worries about transmission issues, but those cars really did have good transmissions. Back at the Land Rover, we're supposed to be doing a couple of things. First of all, I don't think this belt is routed properly. Belt looks worn out, but man, I would think there's supposed to be more of a grab on this alternator. Somebody let me know. I know it has a bad throttle position sensor, which is Lucas. Somebody's trying to get me one of those. The throttle linkage is broken on the throttle, and of course the battery was dead and the ignition was torn apart. So somebody, oh man, looked like somebody locked the door. Somebody has some tools in there, but the column is torn apart. Somebody set the battery in there, didn't try to tighten anything. So here's the bottom of the column with the screws. I have no idea where the top is. things have two kind of connectors on the sensors. This one, which is the flat sensor connector, and the round one. So when I hear this truck may be a 94 or a super early 95, this wire loom seems like it's in incredibly good shape. That thing may have been replaced. Now I'm seeing that some kind of sensor is unplugged there. Maybe a fuel pressure sensor or something. I'm gonna see if I can find a connector for that. First on deck, unplug the sensor. It's got a little push tab on top of the plug in the car. Release it, unscrew these two screws, pull the sensor out. I'm gonna try to clean this sensor, see if I get it to work. My buddy Rudy said, do not drop and lose these screws. It's almost impossible to find anything that fit the screw holes. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray something on this sensor after I get this other screw out and try to get this thing to work. I'm not sure if it's magnetic or what. Oh, there we go. Has that little thing that turns around in there. If that gets gummed up, it won't work right. Gummed up, seemed to work okay, but I'm gonna spray on it anyway, see if it'll loosen up anymore. While that sensor dries, I sprayed in there with the cleaner as well, cleaning the gunk out of there. Also noticed the fuel temperature sensor plug was undone. Looks like the securing clip is broken on it. So I plugged that back in. Hopefully that'll be okay. Next, I'm going to attempt to replace this with it on the vehicle. It's got 3 bolts if my memory serves me correct. This one is broken. I had to bend it back in shape to get this on there. So I'm gonna pull this pin out and show you guys where that was broken. Actually, you can look down over top of that and see how that's broken. So I'm gonna pull this off and replace it. Hopefully I won't drop or lose anything. Don't want to be fishing stuff out of this engine. Looks like the ground has some wire loom breaking as well. I'm working on a 1995 Range Rover. I don't know, this may be the Discovery. I'm going to replace this throttle assembly because this one is damaged. It has the cable linkage broken there. First thing I'm going to do is pull the cable, this pin out of here, unhook the cable, unthread the cable from here. Real simple process. I got the damaged pin out of it. Could not get the pin to slide out of it, so I had to pry it back open, and in removing it, of course the pin disappears. So hopefully I have the pin with the other one. So next I pulled this tube off of it. It was plugged in right here. Next I'm going to pull this tube off of here, and it looks like I have another cable down here. I'm going to lift it up before I try to remove that one. So I got a bolt here, and another bolt down there somewhere. I got to find and pull off. I don't want to pull this plenum off because I don't want to be resealing that. So let me see if I could get it off with these 3 bolts and go from there. Took this linkage loose so I can get it out of the way to get these 2 bolts. These bolts are actually 9mm. Once you get the 3 bolts out, you need to unhook this spring down here because it will hold this on. Then you got to pivot the whole assembly counterclockwise, lift this back end up, tilt that down to get it from under this linkage here. Then it slides right out. So after you get it slid out, make sure you make a notation of the orientation of the spring that was on there, because you'll need to get that spring back on there right once you want to put all this stuff back together and go from there. disconnect this cable, swap the part out, and put it back in place. You see how this one is broken there. That throttle linkage is broke somehow. This cable here has a different kind of clip. You spin it to unclip it. Oops. Spin it like that. Get it off the clip. Actually, it's pulled the whole clip out. Now unscrew that, take that linkage off of there, and you'll be good to go. I got that cable unscrewed, 13 millimeter. Now I'm ready to swap the other part on. One thing I did notice that kind of made it easier for me, I sprayed the threads off with brake parts cleaner because the gunk on the threads was keeping the bolt on, making it harder to take off. You may want to break that loose before you take this thing here loose. I have the linkage hooked back up here. I need to adjust this a little bit. I got this hooked back up. I got the springs hooked up the way they're supposed to be down there.
I'm sorry.
Alright, so now the throttle should work fine. Opens and closes all the way. You can adjust the throttle tension on it here. So you want to adjust it till it just starts opening and then let it down until it quit moving. Right there. Now I'm gonna put the sensor back on the front, fire it up, see how it runs. Get everything put back together, and the vehicle starts and runs, but after about 20 seconds or so it stalls. Let me go ahead and fire it up for you. Starts up, it's running, and it slowly dies out. Now, I can try to keep it running with my foot on the pedal. Doesn't do so good. But if I unplug the throttle position sensor, I can get it to run with the throttle position sensor unplugged. The check engine light ain't even on no more.
You cleared the code, Mr. Spinner. Man, you clear code quicker than me. Shit.
So what I need to do? So what I need to do? Ride it around or something?
I think if you're riding around and force it to learn, I think you'll learn and know where to step. If that car, just make sure the alternator is putting out that. All right, one rule with those cars, if the alternator is putting anything out under 13 volts, the alternator is bad. Check the alternator before you leave.
Well, it's got a brand new battery in it.
Alright, yeah, take a quick ride with it, and I'll stay on the phone with you, or you can call me back.
If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.